What's up, everybody? It's your boy Joey,
And it's your girl, Just Shay.
and this is the Use Your Power podcast. And today's episode, the message and the messenger.
Mm.
What's up with cancel culture? That's what we're gonna talk about today.
Yes.
You know, we live in I won't even say a world. We live in a society here in the US where anything you say can and will be held against you in the court of public opinion.
Right.
And that thing that can and will be held against you in the court of public opinion can get you canceled. Don't. Cancel culture is real, and cancel culture low key sucks. Shay, your thoughts?
Okay, so cancel culture definitely sucks. It reminded me of the Kevin Hart situation when he was gonna host the Oscars, and he was like all excited about it. It was gonna be like the top of his career, the highlight of his career, hosting the Oscars. And I think a fan or someone like reached way back from the day, like 10 years prior, of a comment he made, I think about the LGBTQ. At the time, it wasn't even that community, and they wanted him to renege on his comment, but he was like, no, like he stand by that happened years ago before he was educated about whatever's going on. And it just sucks. It's like you guys reach back from this man, and mind you, I feel like personally they just didn't want him to do it because of but that's a whole different topic. But yeah, cancel culture does suck because you definitely can't say what you want to say. You have to kind of almost walk on eggshells because people take things to the extreme, it seemed like. And that's both in the church community, outside of the church community, that's everywhere. Like you have to be very mindful of how you respond to things because it will bite you in the long run. Like you will pay for it depending on how you respond to whatever is happening. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, that's that example is wild to me because you went back 10 years.
Right.
10 years. You know how much can change in 10 years? Like, think about who you were at 20 and then who you are at 30.
Right.
And then if you're that old, who you are at 40 and 50. Like, a lot changes from one decade to the next.
Right.
And for them to cancel him, so to speak, without really giving an for them to cancel him, did they give him an opportunity to really say anything before they just started? They said, it's a wrap.
I remember they tried to give him opportunity, and I only know this because I used to watch Real Husbands of Hollywood, his little fake reality show. It was so funny. And I remember the first couple episodes, he was saying like his team was trying to get him to make a statement. And he was like, no. So I don't know if it was really true, if he was like, I'm gonna ignore it because I said what I said. And at that time, that was years ago, that's how I felt. What is there to respond to? They decided to take me from that job. Oh well, I'm not responding to that because and I was like, he stood on business on that. I was like, yeah, stand on business on that because, like you said, it happened years ago, and I hate to be that person. Like, stand on business. I hate to be that person, but
Standing on business.
I
I'm
was
like,
I was that person for a
oh
minute.
boy, here we
So,
go. Shay
but
done got a hold of some slang. She out here
yes,
standing on
yeah,
business.
auntie got to hold some slang. So yeah.
I mean, okay, so to pull out something from 10 years ago and then to want him to renege on it, essentially you want him to lie. And he's like, I'm
Yes.
not gonna lie. That's where I was at the time, and that's what I thought. And if I think differently now, I think differently now, but I'm not gonna explain myself. I think a lot of times when it comes to public figures, we feel like they owe us something. And it's like, no, I don't. No, we don't. Like, I mean, In the instance of like a celebrity, they don't owe us anything.
Right.
You know, they are actors, actresses, musicians, singers, um, entertainers, comedians, whatever. Like they do their job and then they get to go home too. Now, yeah, they're in the limelight because that's part of their career, but they really don't owe an explanation. We put them on these pedestals, these companies that they work for, that they sell products for and whatnot. They force them to, have opinions or not have opinions on certain things. And it's pretty ridiculous. Like I think about the situation that happened um with Kyrie Irving, where he shares a video, I think it was to Twitter, and I believe it was probably one of them Black Hebrew Israelite videos or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And my whole thing is like, he just shared a video that he, I guess, thought was interesting, and he didn't endorse it. He didn't endorse anything that was said in the video, but the dude lost his whole shoe contract over it, and he got suspended from the NBA for like how long? Over what? Meanwhile, you got a guy like a Josh Giddey who basically sleeping with a 15-year-old girl, and he's like in his early 20s, and that got swept under the rug. Nobody's talking about it, right? We don't hear about that anymore. Dude was all in the playoffs, and I'm thinking like, didn't this dude, when he just caught up about sleeping with a 15-year-old girl, but Kyrie shares a video and loses his contract, and I mean his shoe contract, and gets suspended for a long time. Did Josh Giddey even miss any games? Like how many games did the dude miss? I mean, like statutory rape here, folks. It's crazy. It's crazy, you know. And then it's like, so we picking and choosing, right? So I guess so statutory rape is acceptable, but sharing a video that suggests that the real Jews or black people is, that's taboo. No. Your contract is, you're done, buddy. You're done.
Right.
Like, come on, man.
And
It
Josh
is.
Giddey, well, like you said, you answered it right there. Is the difference between a black man and a man who is a different race? Because I don't know what Josh Giddey is, but he ain't black. And if
He,
you look
he's
at
a he's
he's a
a
white man, but
he's a
he might be
he's a
like,
basketball player for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I know what I'm saying. His race is not black,
Right.
and that answer your question.
All right. I think the thing is that's kind of that's creating this cancel culture, in part because we know the cancel culture is not just a social thing. Cancel culture is also, a corporate thing. Like in the case of Kyrie Irving, that was more of a corporate canceling, right? Uh, he wasn't socially canceled. He was corporately canceled to a degree, right? Nike was like, we're out,
Deuces.
and then the NBA said you're suspended, and you have to do penance, that's acceptable to us, whoever us is, the league,
Right.
before we let you play again, right? But I can't speak to the corporate side of it, but to the social side of cancel culture. Social media has created platforms now where everyone has a voice, right?
Mhm.
Everybody has a voice. Every single human being on earth that has access to a smartphone or a tablet or a computer, the internet, Wi-Fi, etc., can say whatever they want to say. They can speak about whatever they want. They can tell the world how they feel. Everybody, any and everybody, from the slums to the penthouse, from the USA to Africa, Asia, and everywhere in between. We all have a platform and a voice, and we can hop on our soapbox whenever we get ready. Is that a good thing, though? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it somewhere in between? I don't particularly like it, right? Because giving everyone a platform, it's like, yeah, well, everyone should have a voice. Should they? If you have some wild, way out thought processes where you feel like, let's just say you're a racist and you feel like everyone from a particular group should be eliminated, whether through genocide or, systematic elimination, through government programs and whatever. If you are this person, should you have a platform to voice your opinions? Should I be forced to respect the opinions of someone who wants to see me dead because of the color of my skin or the way I believe? Maybe you don't like black people. Maybe you don't like people of color, period. Maybe you're of a religion, maybe you're Muslim and you hate Christians, right? Do these people that want to propagate these doctrines and indoctrinate the masses into their particular belief system that wants to see the downfall of a whole entire group of people or ethnic group or race or whatever, do they deserve a voice? But everybody has one. And so we live in a world where everybody gets a voice. And I don't know if that's a good thing.
I don't think it's a good thing either. I don't think so, because also I feel like when it comes to cancel culture and everybody having a platform, it's very ironic to me how certain things get under the radar and certain things get canceled. Um, Especially when you have like you said, everybody can get on YouTube and Instagram. I mean, the social media is just oversaturated with all types of stuff. And you could put like some foolishness out there. You know what I mean? And I get canceled. And then you could put something like legit out there, something really nice and wholesome, and it's not drama enough, or it's not bringing the numbers or whatever the case may be. I feel like I remember Pastor said it one time. He's like, nowadays anybody can be famous. Like, it's easy to be famous now, whereas before it was really like like a little bubble. Like, it was hard to get in the business. Now they are looking on social media to find certain people to fit their criteria of what they're selling or whatever. You can just go online and say, you know what, the marketer can go online and say, find somebody on social media for me. And if they look like this, they look like that, or they sound like this, they sound like that, or even they don't look how you want as far as your persona, but they just have all the traffic on their social media, they get the deal. So it's just, I don't think it's necessary, honestly, but also I think it's been abused, and that's why it's not a good thing for everybody to have a platform. It's more people using it, I think, for evil than good.
I mean, yeah. Like social media giving everybody a platform is really like, it's really helping to cause the downfall of society as we know it.
Yes.
It's like, you have, the thing is, like you said, once upon a time, it was difficult to become famous,
Mm-hmm.
right? You could have a crazy amount of talent, but it's very difficult to break into the business, right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there were a lot of factors that kept people from getting into the business, right? Whether that's the music industry or acting and whatnot, movies, movie industry, entertainment in general. So from that perspective, I think it's a good thing because you can create your own opportunities. The problem is you have so many people that are driven by two things: money and fame,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we already know the love of money is the root of all evil, right? But that fame, that desire for fame, that desire to be popular, that desire to be liked and loved, like nobody wants to be hated, really, right? But when you have that deep, desire to be propped up by the masses, right? You have this desire to be looked upon and revered. Um, it reminds me of I will be like the Most High, right?
Mm.
It's a pride thing, and it's like you get so many people, right? That how many people do we look at on social media and we say they're not really all that funny? They're not very good actors or actresses, right? They're not very talented. They don't have a lot of good viewpoints or perspectives, but they got a million followers. They got hundreds of thousands of followers. It's like, how in the world did this person get this many followers? How did they convince so many people to follow them, right? You have people that will say anything to get you to follow them, right? Because the more people I can get to follow me, the more money I can make. I'll say the wildest stuff just to get you to follow me. Some people are going to follow me because they like what I'm saying, right? Maybe I'm a panda, right? I'm one of these men that just panders to women. And I'm going to tell you everything that you want to hear. Yeah, girl, he need to be taking care of you. Yeah, girl, you should be living that soft life. Yeah, girl, he should be paying all your bills. Yeah, girl. Knowing he don't believe that. He don't believe that.
And
He don't
cheating on
believe
his
that.
wife. We had
He
a
cheating
it
on
was
his wife.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Got her out
sorry.
here looking crazy. You don't even know. You barely knew he had a wife. But he telling
That
you
part.
everything you want to hear. Everything. And so many women will be gullible and they're just eating it up. And then you got women that do the same thing. Yeah, she should cater to you. And she should be cooking for you and cleaning
Mm-hmm.
for you and taking care of her kids. And so what if she goes to work? She should go to work full time, bring home the money to you so you can tell her what to do with it. And she should still be cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids. You're the king. You're the king. You're the king. You know,
It's like, oh my
you
God.
know, like I mean, I know I'm clowning, but it's real. You got people that you don't believe that. You don't believe it, but you're saying it. You know why? Because somebody's out there consuming your content, and the more they consume, the more money you make. And that's what it boils down to. And you get some people, a lot of people don't even really believe the mess that they're saying. They don't believe it at all, but they're saying it because they want clicks and likes and subscriptions, and they want you to pay and Patreon and send this money and comment and share because they want that money. And it's like all those little things every time it helps them to make that money. They're willing to say and do anything to get it.
Let me say something before I lose my thought. It kind of boils down to like the type of world we live in, the world of sin, right? And how you remember the term sex sells, but now it's like foolishness sells because
Uh-huh.
if you think about it, like I remember when I was starting my podcast off, I had this guy at my job. Shout out to Sally. His name is Robert Sally. He is outside of what he does, his 9 to 5, but he's a stunt coordinator and trainer for movies. And right after he did some big movies, like he did Creed and all that. So around the time when I was thinking about doing podcasts and I started doing the Pod Room show, and he was giving me pointers, and he was kind of mentoring me about certain stuff and like introducing me to people and whatever. And he was like, Shay, he was like, I think you're gonna make it really big. He said, but you have one problem that works against you. And I'll never forget this. This man, even though I was saved, he said, I could definitely see you being like an Oprah. He said, I can definitely see that. And I think you're going to make it very big in this business. He said, but that your issue is you're too pure. And he was like, a lot of people don't want to see that. He said, it's going to take you twice as long to make it because of your pure spirit than if you were to act a fool on social media. And he said, and knowing you, I don't see you acting a fool on social media. So the clicks are not going to be as relevant to most people because they like to see, he said, especially because you're African American woman, they want to see you act a fool. They want to see you fighting other girls. They want to see you being like the basketball wife in drama. They like drama. And I was like, that's the sad part. That is really sad for someone to have something wholesome that you can take for the rest of your life. You rather listen to somebody cussing, fighting, going off, baby daddy this, ooh, ratchet, all that foolishness. You rather listen to that. You rather to promote somebody with that platform than someone who's giving you some nuggets to help you through life. And he was like, and because of that, it's just gonna take you longer. And he was like, you have to be willing to fight through that part and just do what it takes and be patient. He's like, but it's gonna take you a long time because of your pure ways. And I was like that, and I always think about that comment that he told me because I'm like, I'm living it. Podcast after podcast I've done, platform after platform, and it's still taking me a minute to tap into or whatever to get the numbers because I'm not acting a fool on social media. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's like the things that are necessary to create engagement, right? It's like, the wilder it is, the more outlandish, the more likely you are, the more controversial, the more likely you are to get that following, to
Right.
gain that traction. And it's like you can't just be sensible and intelligent a lot of times. I mean, some people can, but how long did it take them to build that?
Yep.
I mean, sometimes, I mean, let's be honest, sometimes it's just a matter of the right person at the right time seeing your stuff, and it'll take one person to share it, and it's a wrap. You just blow up.
Right.
Like that the one uh influencer was just is it just Whitney?
Oh, when our
Yeah,
wig fell off.
yeah. I mean, like
Oh.
I think at the time that happened, because I remember I was following her. I've been following her before that happened, and I think when I started following her, she was at like 10,000 subscribers or
Mhm.
followers on Instagram or whatever. And after that, I mean, through the
Blew up.
roof. It just blew up. I think I don't know what she's at now, probably at like over 300,000,
Yeah,
you
she
know,
blew up.
but that one little video and it just, you know, through the roof, right? So I mean, it's possible, but here's the thing though, and then I brought her up because her content is unashamedly Christian,
Mhm.
very clean, super clean. She seems like a very nice, sweet girl. Um, so it's possible, right? Um, but to kind of bring it back to cancel culture, the thing is, it's like we cancel things that sometimes it's like, well, why are you canceling it? You ask these questions because, especially like being Christians, right? If you take a stance on certain things, the masses will cancel you. If you take a stance on homosexuality, you're going to get canceled, right? You can't speak against that group of people and expect the masses to roll with you. The interesting part about that is we're talking about a group of people who make up less than 1% or somewhere like
Right.
1% of the population. But if you say anything about them, you're canceled, right? You get canceled. We cancel your contracts. You get fired from your job, and you know. But you can talk crazy about black people. You know, you can talk crazy about Asians, Latinos. You can say whatever you want, right? But you can't say anything about homosexuals, right? You can't. It's not. And the thing is, you don't even have the cold part is it's not even about like talking dirty about them. It's about disagreeing with the lifestyle. If you call it sin and you say that this is contrary to God's will, and if you continue in this sin, you're going to hell, man, they ready to throw you off the train. They ready to shut you down, knock you out, kill you. I mean, it's because you don't agree with it. It's like you have to watch how you disagree with certain things.
Right.
We can talk about, and here's the cold part. You can mock Christianity all you want. We can talk. We use the Lord's name in vain all the time. You know, our society mocks Christianity. They mock Christ. They mock believers for whatever reason all the time. No one gets canceled for that. No one. But say something about homosexuality. Right? Say something, say something about Jewish people, right? Just suggest that you believe that the original Hebrews were people of color, right? Were black people. And oh boy, it's a problem. It's cancel coming, right? And so it just shows you on a grand scale where we are in this world, where they're calling gain godliness, and they're calling evil good and good evil, and it's just like Pastor Swansea would say, God rest his soul, stuff is hatched in hell.
In hell. Whew. So why do we counsel people who have opinions that differ than ours? Like, why though? What is the purpose?
Because we just don't want to deal with it. We don't want to hear it. It doesn't align with what we think, what we know, what we feel. And if especially when it comes to matters of religion, don't put that on me, right? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. If your religion says that my way of life is going to cause me to go to hell or to be eternally damned or punished, man, get out of here, right? I don't want to hear that. I was born this way. There's nothing I can do about it. And you're trying to tell me that, oh, well, the way I was born is wrong. Well, then if the way I was born is wrong, then something's wrong with your God because he made me.
Wow.
It's a mess. People don't want to hear it. People just have these. I believe most people inherently believe that there's something more beyond this life. I believe there's something inherent in most human beings that believes that there's more to it than just what we see. And I think when you speak those things, you talk about eternity. It's scary. It's scary, right? Because if they're right, then none of this matters, right? If they're right, none of it matters. But if we're right, and by we, I mean Christians, if we're right and they're wrong, they're in trouble, right? There's no consequence for us if we're wrong. What's the consequence?
Right.
What's the consequence? If you're right, what's the consequence for me? There is none. right?
Right.
If I'm wrong, then I'm just wasting my time living a goody two shoes life here on earth. But there's no eternal consequence if you're right. But
Right.
if I'm right and you're
Ooh.
not,
And that's when they you better use that term better safe than sorry. You better
yeah,
just
yeah,
be
yeah,
safe than sorry because I didn't think about it like that. Because
yeah,
if they are right, I'm not missing out. I'm
right.
really not. That got me a little bit. Sila.
The Selah.
Think about it. Let's meditate on that for a minute. No, that's the truth. Man. All right.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like the interesting thing is they see what's going on in the world, right?
Hmm.
Like you can just see what's going on right now with Israel. Like, why is it that
It was so sad.
this little bitty country, it seems like everything going on in the world is centered around this one little country. How
Hmm.
did that happen? Why is that? Why is that? Why is everybody in the world talking about this one little country? Just this one little. You would think a country so small would be insignificant in the grand scheme of things. I think there's like 195 countries in this world, and we always talking about Israel, a country that's like the size of what New Jersey, I believe it says somewhere around that size. This little bitty country, and then everybody around them hates them.
Mm.
Everybody around Israel, hey, all those countries, they hate Israel, right? And we're fighting over this little bitty patch of land. But you don't want to believe anything that we're telling you.
That's a
You don't
cold
want you
place to
you
be in.
you don't want to believe it. You see everything going on in Israel, right? Everything going on in the world. All these wars and rumors of wars and sickness and disease and famine and all these different things. But you don't want to believe the Bible. It's like cognitive dissonance, right? You see
Mm.
it, you see it. It's
Right.
like nah. You
No.
don't want to deal with it because it's scary. It's scary if you don't know who Jesus is. So when you begin to say certain things that don't line up with the way I think, with the way I feel, with the way I believe, with the way that causes me to be able to live a peaceable life in my mind, you're canceled, buddy. We're not dealing with you. We're not fooling with you because are you trying to take away our peace of mind? Because if you're right, then that's saying I'm on my way to hell. That's saying that this world is about to fall apart, that this world is going to hell in a handbasket real soon. And
Mm.
I'm sitting here, no, it can't. No, 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 no. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna be who I want to be. I'm gonna say what I want to say. And you can't stop me. You can't tell me what I can't do. I mean, think about it. In You look in the Old Testament, right? You look at how Israel was. It's like who Israel's God is. Israel's God trumps all your other gods. And no matter how powerful the God of Israel shows himself to be, you still refuse to serve him. You fast forward into the tribulation time, they're going to know who's bringing all this calamity upon the world, and they still won't repent. You cannot say anything that goes against the masses and expect not to get canceled.
Canceled. Right.
We're not just shooting the messenger, we're trying to destroy the
The
message.
message.
We don't
Yep.
want to hear any of it. We don't want to hear the message, and we don't want to fool with the messengers. And so we're going to kill the messenger so they can no longer bring the message. But you know what? God always has a witness.
Right.
You
I
know,
be
and
thinking like these people are just gonna be so molded, Joey.
molded.
Like I'm like, y'all about to be molded. Like when, and this is like we're off topic at this point, but it's like when the rapture take place, like, oh, people about to be molded. I'd be having to check myself, like, Lord, am I ready, Lord? Check me. Like, tell me if I need to get rid of some stuff because I don't even want to be molded. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
I'm over here
Molded.
preaching to y'all, praying for folk, laying hand on folk, and I get left too. Mm-mm.
No ma'am, no sir.
It's just, it's really sad. And it's really like going back to the cancel culture, it really defeats the purpose of your whole amendment rights too, like your freedom of speech. You can't even say, like, if we stick with the LGBTQ plus community, like, you can't even, if you don't even like say anything bad, you could just say you disagree with their lifestyle. And it's not like you're shaming them. You're like, you're going to hell. It's just like, no, I just disagree with their lifestyle. I feel like men and women should be together, and men who whatever, whatever. But it's like all that hard work, instead of using that opportunity. And say if I wasn't a Christian, right, and I'm against that culture, I mean that community, and that could be a form of like, okay, then educate me on it then, instead of you canceling me. Educate me on black people then, instead of you canceling. Educate me on your hair then, instead of you canceling me. It's a lot of, like, we're not taking opportunities to educate people. Okay, you're a Christian, educate me then on why you think that way as a Christian. So then I won't be like, oh, okay, then I ain't gotta cancel a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Like, educate people first before you just start counseling folk. Cause I feel like cancel culture is a little dramatic and extreme. Like, I
Fact.
mean, it's a little dramatic. Like, come on, y'all. That could have been an easy conversation. The miseducation is the real, it's like it's real. Um Reeling it in, we're missing a lot of opportunities to educate people about certain things that isn't necessary to cancel folks about. And I feel like if God gives us free will, and somebody told me not to say this out loud, but I'm gonna say it out loud, and you'll determine if I should say it out loud. If the Lord Himself, the King of all kings, the Lord of all lords, the God of this universe, the creator of man, gives me free will to do what I please, free will to even serve Him, why should I be canceled if I decide to go a certain route? The Lord Himself has given me free will. And if I think this way, that's even contrary to Him, why am I being canceled? Is that even bad to think? Like, you get what I'm saying?
I think we should I guess just to wrap it up, we need to cancel culture. You know,
For real.
it's like even Jesus sat with publicans and sinners, right? It's not a license for them to sin. It's not a license for them to continue in doing ungodly things. But there should be discourse. There should be conversation, right? We should at least be able to come to an understanding of what one another believes. Um, the law has land. The land has laws to protect us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as long as we hold each other accountable, you can believe whatever you want,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even if your beliefs suggest that somebody else is going to hell if they continue to do this thing, then okay, that's my belief. I do have the freedom under the First Amendment to speak my mind, right? And the thing is, what I'm saying has no bearing necessarily on you in this life. I'm telling you, if you don't get it together after you die,
Mm-hmm.
there's an unfortunate ending waiting for you, right? I'm not trying to kill you,
Right.
right? I'm not trying to. I'm not telling you you can't, do this, that, or the other. You do whatever you want. I'm just telling you, if you keep doing certain things, that you are on your way somewhere that you don't want to be.
And my thing is
If
this: if you're gonna believe a certain thing, like if I was a gay woman and this is how I believe, and you're telling me that I'm wrong, at the end of the day, if I believe I'm so right, I mean, I feel like if you're so right, why are you so mad? Like, why are you mad about it? That I'm saying what I'm saying. Why are you upset? Are you upset? Like, why are you so pissed that you feel like you have to cancel me? If you're right, like, so obviously because people only get upset when it's the truth. So obviously some truth to it. Because if not, then my thing is like, do you, boo? But you don't got to be that mad. Like, why you mad? What you mad for? What you mad for, homie?
yeah, I mean, but then devil's advocate here, you have to extend them the same opportunity to believe and say what they want.
Facts.
It's like that includes even beyond like homosexuality, that includes the racist. That includes
That's a touchy topic.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, if you're gonna say that, you know what, everybody should have their right to speak and believe whatever they want, that's got to extend to people that believe and want things that aren't good for you. In this life, it's not good for you, right? Now, again, that's where, like, why I made mention of the law of the land, right? You have laws that are there that are supposed to be there to protect us. Now, we know, especially as Black people, we know that they don't always protect us, and we weren't necessarily in mind when they made those laws. But we have laws, and you got to trust the system to do its job as much as you can. You can't take the law into your own hands, and then you're putting yourself in jeopardy of being in imprisoned or whatever. But I think cancel culture is trash. And while while we may not always agree, I think conversation and discourse is good, and it's helpful to come to an understanding, and it helps so that we can all live peaceably together.
Amen.
Our hearts and minds clear.
Our hearts and minds are clear.
Amen. Well, I'm your boy Joey.
Wait a minute. You sound like a pastor. Amen.
Amen.
Finish your altar call.
Amen. I'm Joey.
There's room at the cross for
and
you.
her name is Shay. And this has been the Use Your Power podcast. God bless and good night.
Bye.
Bird.